Hey everyone, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is
Luke Smith.
And we're here to start our playthrough of Samurai Spirit. Now there's only two of us, but we set up 3 samurai. We're going to play this like it's a 3-player game, and that way, you don't have to use the special rules that you use in a 2-player game. So our 3rd player will be, you know what? We can pretend that that's Andrea. Andrea would love to be...
Andrea, welcome!
Where is she? Well, she's in Japan, in case you're curious. And she would love to be playing this with us, I'm sure, because Antoine Bowser, the designer of this game, is one of her favorite designers. But first, let's take you guys to the table and look at the different abilities of these 3 samurai. So our first samurai is Korobe?
Korobe.
Korobe. A little French you threw on there, Luke. This is where I really wish Andrea was here, because she could probably give us the correct pronunciation. Well, this character has an ability here. Anytime he gets a 2, 4, or 6 in his battle line, he can ignore the battle penalty that's there. So that's pretty handy. Also, his Ki power says that if he hits 9, he'll be able to discard 2 cards from the Raider deck right into the discard pile. We have, what do you think this is, Luke? Daisuke?
Daisuke, yeah.
Maybe.
Daisuke.
If Daisuke draws a 1, 3, or 5 valued plunder card, he can then pass it to the left or to the right. And then that player can choose whether to confront or defend the card. And then down here, the Ki power, once Daisuke reaches 8, allows him to take the bottommost card in any player's combat line, including his own, and then give it to another player. Of course, you then adjust your samurai meeples accordingly. The 3rd samurai is Kikuchio. And his ability is, after taking a fight action, he can choose to do a 2nd fight action. And then the Ki power here allows him to not just remove the topmost card from his combat line, but also the bottommost card from the combat line. I will be playing Korobe, and Luke will be Kikuchio, and we'll have Andrea, that both of us will control, be this center samurai. All right, I'm going to go first, and I've decided that I want to fight as my first action. So I'm drawing this card, and I can see right away, we have a battle penalty, which is a wound.
Oh no.
One of my least favorites. And this value doesn't match the values of my special ability, so I wouldn't be able to ignore the wound. So right away, I know what I want to do. I'm going to defend against this Raider and put it over here. Right? Make sense? You agree? Okay. Well, now it's Andrea's turn. And listen, tell you what, viewers, you guys are going to be this character as well. So let's see. What is it you're going to have to face?
Ooh.
Well, okay, this is not so bad because there's no battle penalty listed. It is a 4, though. And a 4 would...
Fill up half.
Fill up half of the battle line. I don't know if we want to do that this early.
I think it will go to the...
Over here on the defend line?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put it here. And so far, of course, we haven't had to adjust the samurai meeples because you only adjust the values when it goes to the right side of the samurai. Luke, it's over to you. What are you going to get here?
Ooh,
okay.
4.
Another 4. That's a pretty big one. But your battle track goes all the way up to 10.
Yeah.
The battle penalty here means that the next card that you draw, you would not be allowed to put it over here on this side. You would not be allowed to defend. What do you think you want to do?
I think I'm going to protect again.
You're going to defend as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that over on the right side, matching up. Now, the only problem with matching these up early, I mean, we do want to match all of the symbols up on the left sides of our board. But the problem is, as we go on, we may draw things we don't want to put on our battle line, but we may not have an option if these spots are already filled up. But let's see what I get now. Well, there we go. Another wound.
You probably want to defend.
I think you're probably right, because again, this is a 3, doesn't match my value. I would not be able to ignore this. Thankfully, I do have another farm symbol there. So I will place it over here, somewhat regrettably. Now, you know what? If I had put it on this side, as long as you drew a 1, 3, or 5, you could pass it to me and then cover up the battle penalty. So it wasn't absolutely a threat to me.
But the chances
I don't want to
shaky.
risk it. You're right. It's risky. So let's see what we get next. Now, this battle penalty means you're not allowed to offer support if you have that on your right side of the board. What do you think, Luke? I mean, that's not so bad.
Put it on the 1.
We're going to put it over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put it here, and we'll adjust the battle track to 1. Over to you, Luke.
See, I got one of these too. I have to put it over there because that's already filled.
You're right, you do. And you know what? That's only moving it down to 1. Why don't you use your ability to draw a second,
yeah.
right, and fight again?
Ooh, a 4.
Now that
Wow.
said, sometimes leaving this out means you know next turn you get a little bit of a cakewalk, but
Yeah.
now we actually increase the odds of there being a penalty. This one means that before you draw and take your next action, you're going to have to give this one to the player to your right, which is me over here. Mind you, you do need to match up one of your burn symbols. So what are you feeling like here?
I might match up one of my burn symbols.
Okay, here, I'll just lift this up so you can put it underneath. There we go. All right, Korobe is going to have to face, well, I could match up the hat symbol. I mean, I could just do that and have it be done.
Sure.
But it's also a 4, and that means I could ignore this battle penalty if I
Yeah.
wanted to. You know what, I think I'm going to actually defend against this one as well, all right? And I'm going to put it over here. And that means I've matched up all my symbols. So I've kind of limited my options here. I'm going to have to start actually confronting some of these raiders and not just defending against them. All right, Luke, let's see what the viewers are going to have to face here. Well, it's a 1.
Oh man, a wound.
Yeah, so this one is a wound, which means at the start of your next turn, you'd have to take a wound.
Boy.
Actually, no, but look, Luke, this is a 1, and you can pass ones, right? Now, if you passed a 1 over here, I don't really want a wound, and I can't put it on this side. But if we pass it to your character,
I can put it in the hat.
you could put it under the hat. But then you're filled up, and you won't have the option except to start putting cards over here.
I think we're gonna have to risk it.
Do you think?
Yep.
I think this is very risky.
It is. That's why we're doing it.
Okay, all right. So that ends that turn. Now it's over to your actual turn. Luke, go ahead and draw and let's see what you get. Okay, so here we have another 1. Well, you don't have an option.
Have to put it over
You have
there.
to put it over here, right? So
That's no biggie. I guess I could confront another guy.
Okay, all right, using your ability, confronting a second. Now, the only hazard here, if you confronting a second, was we were okay. We didn't have a battle penalty here. So I don't know that really should have necessarily confronted one. But Kuchio was feeling brave. Now, this one's going to have to go here as well. And at the start of your next turn, we're going to have to burn down one of our barricades.
And this advances by 2.
That's true. Okay. Now, it's possible we'll draw something that this character can pass over and cover up that battle penalty, right? So that we're not necessarily going to have to lose a barricade. We'll see. All right, over to me. Oh, I keep drawing these wounds. And this one, oh no, this is perfect.
You can ignore.
That's right, it's a 4. Okay, so this one is going to go over here. And I will move this down to the 4 position. And now we're going to see what the viewers get. All right. Ooh, okay, so this one, it does not have one of the defense symbols. So we cannot choose to put it over here, even though we might have empty spaces.
Yeah.
This one is going to have to go over here. And it's not a 1, 3, or 5, so we can't pass it over and cover that up, unfortunately, right? So it'll go here. That moves this to the 5 position. And now at the start of your turn, we finally have to apply a battle penalty.
Yep.
And that means we lose one of our barricades. So I'll just remove this one here. And now you can choose to fight something. All right.
Whew.
Okay, this one, you have no choice again, right? You have to put it over here. You have to confront, and you're going to increase your value by 4. So that's going to put you on 8, right?
Yep. I'm not going to draw another one.
I don't blame you. I think it's probably wise just to leave that alone. Because, I mean, you could draw a 2 or a 1, and you'd be fine. But if you go over, we lose another barricade. Okay, so coming back over here to Korobe, we will flip. Oh, first of all, battle penalty, which I ignore because of the 4.
Yeah.
Then I flip, I face this one. I have no choice. I have to put it over here, and that's going to advance me by 3. I'm also getting close to going over my ki value. Hopefully we can get through the rest of this Raider deck before that happens. Okay, so over to our viewers now. We've got a 1.
Oh, but it can go onto the house.
And we should make note, of course, we do need to apply the battle penalty, don't we? So,
yes.
Right, so we're going to have to put that here. And this is another wound, so...
Let's move to the house.
Okay, I think that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Of course, we still have a wound here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of bad. And that means another wound, and we're going to have to flip over the samurai board. Now, it's Luke's turn, and I would normally be tempted to say, let's do a support action. That moves the top card of this deck into the intruder stack, and then you can pass this ability to one of the other samurais to use on their turn. But your battle penalty, right, you can't support this turn. So you could pass, but do you want to do that?
No.
You're going to risk it?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. I hope you get a 2. A 2 would be fantastic. Oh no, it's not a 2, it's a 3. Okay, so that means 1, 2, we've gone past, and now we have to lose a barricade. So that gets burned, and this one, we're gonna have to put it over here into your battle line. Now we know Kikuchio is out for the rest of this round. So Corbet, hopefully, is gonna get something decent.
Boy.
First of all, we have to resolve this battle penalty. Fire means another barricade is knocked off. I'm not liking how this is going so far. A 2.
Yes!
Oh, that's very good. A 2 is excellent. That means we can put this in the battle line. First of all, covering up the fire, which is great. And then moving 2 more puts me on my Ki value.
Yep.
And now I can activate this ability, which allows me to take 2 of the cards in the Raider deck and discard them, put them here in the graveyard. That's fantastic. Now you also remove the topmost card in your battle line, and that's really helpful as well because that's going to bump me back here to 5. This will go to the discard pile, and it should be noted this is a 2. So I can ignore the battle penalty on my turn, although it's not going to get back to my turn actually. It's now the viewer's turn. I got to tell you, the thing I most want to see right now is a doll symbol. Right? But first we have to resolve the battle penalty. Unfortunately, another wound means...
does that mean...
That means this is now going to flip.
Ooh.
If 2 more wounds go on this samurai, now the samurai is in monkey form. If 2 more wounds go on this samurai, then we lose the game. So we have to be very careful about the health of Daisuke. All right, let's see what happens.
Yes!
It's a doll. This is perfect. So now we can place this over here, and that means at the end of the round, which is going to be right now, we don't have to worry about losing one of our villagers. Now we have to see if there's any defense penalties that we need to suffer. I can tell by looking that there isn't going to be any, but let's still go through this step by step. First you check and see, does everyone have a card matching the hat symbol? We can see they do. Any that didn't would receive a wound. Now we check to match for farms, and yes, we have a match on every farm symbol. That means we don't lose any of the farms. And finally, we check the families. And sure enough, all the families are there.
Yes.
We don't lose any families. So now we can flip over these, and we get the benefits. So this would allow us to remove 1 card from the top of the intruder stack and discard it. Well, we don't have any here.
No.
So thanks for your help, villager, but we didn't really need it. This allows us to put a barricade back, and that is very useful. And this one, unfortunately, is great, but we can't use it. So you can't take a wound token off of someone who doesn't have a wound token, and if they've already flipped over to their animal side, you can't flip them back over. So this is kind of wasted, unfortunately. So now to reset for the next round, we would take these and shuffle them back up again, and then place them randomly. You do this so that when you're losing family tokens, if we had to lose any by not matching up their symbols, we wouldn't know which one we're losing. Now, to set up for the next round, I'm going to be collecting all of these raiders that we already played back into a single deck, and then mix into them 3 of these value 5 raiders that we set aside during the setup. These are the lieutenants, and there's some different ones, they have different effects, and we add them in randomly, so we won't know which 3 are going into the deck. Okay, so I set everything back up for the next round. If we can survive the second round and the third round, we win. How confident do you think the villagers are in us right now?
Confident.
I think so too. I mean, they've had a couple fences get knocked down.
Yeah.
But so far, all the families and the homes are intact. That's good. We do have a little problem here. I'm a little worried about this samurai. Because even if we can keep the village relatively safe, if one of us dies, we lose. So let's go back to the table. We'll do a couple more turns, but then we'll end and let you guys make one of the decisions. Well, the last round ended with this player. So Luke, you get to start this round.
Okay.
I think fighting makes sense. So we're drawing a card and it's a wound. Not excited about that. On the other hand, don't forget you get to draw 2. So whatever you draw would cover up that wound. And sometimes, knowing that there's tough lieutenants coming down the line, it is nice to be able to stick them on this side of your character card, avoiding whatever penalties they might offer, because sometimes their penalties are worse than the normal raiders. What do you think?
I'll put it on this side.
Okay, so we have a potential wound there. The other nice thing about having a high or higher value card as your topmost card is that if you do hit your ki value, you're going to go down quite a bit,
Yeah.
right? All right, I think you should definitely fight again. That's a good idea.
No.
And, well, you probably want to cover up the wound, but this means that we will have another fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, on the other hand, we may not, because Daisuke may be able to pass a card. All right, let's go over to Courbet, see what Courbet has. Okay, Courbet has drawn a 4. I don't think I really want to fill up my battle line that much this early.
No.
So I will match this up to the family side. The nice thing, of course, it being a 4 means I could have ignored the battle penalty if I'd wanted to. Well, now let's turn over this card for the viewers, and then we'll let them decide what they want to do. Well, I think it's time to turn things over to our other samurai, you, the viewers. Let us know what you want to do with this raider, and put your suggestion in the comments below. If you like what someone suggests, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like it, propose your own suggestion, and maybe someone will vote for that. In the next episode, we'll come back and we'll resolve this based on the feedback that we get. But until the next episode,
Thanks for watching.